Today we're going to be comparing my Rhodes Mark 1 from 1979 to Keyscape's Rhodes Emulation. And I've tried my best to match the parameters. I'll put a picture up on the screen. But the parameters of Keyscape to sound like my Rhodes here. The way I have my Rhodes toned or tuned is kind of like 75% Herbie, and then the last 25% kind of more not as barky, more of just like lush sounding. I didn't want to have it sound like a full Herbie Rhodes. So I would say the first thing is just like the depth of the real Rhodes, just kind of gradual, almost like a nice gas pedal on a car. It just kind of like gets to a point where its threshold, and I tried to, really dial in the velocity setting, but it's just kind of like, whereas this just has more depth and dimension to it. I'll play some more examples here. See, it almost sounds more shallow. Even though I tried to mess with the parameters as much as I could. Maybe if you know a trick about Keyscape or something in their parameters, leave a comment below. It just doesn't sing as much, and that's like the biggest difference for me. Let me play like a Herbie riff. Played on the Keyscape. Yeah. you know, it sounds good. Like, it doesn't sound bad. It just doesn't have as much character. And I tried to get it where it barks, or it's kind of Herbie like mine, but you can still hear the bell like kind of clinging in the background. But I can't dial that in on Keyscape. Kind of like that in between sweet spot. So the biggest thing, like I said, is just dimension. And kind of like a bad Rhodes emulation, or just like a mid one, is kind of like one dimensional. And Keyscape is kind of like 2-dimensional and at times 3-dimensional if you kind of lock in everything. And a Rhodes is kind of 4-dimensional, where you can almost like a movie in 4D, where it pops out like 3-dimensional, but you can also feel it, smell it, you can taste it. It just kind of sings more. I'll also say that I have installed this Retro Flyer preamp, but I left the original kind of frame around it, which this is just volume, this first knob. And then there's another knob behind it where it's kind of like a mid scoop control. So if I take it all the way out, turn up the volume a little bit. It's kind of good for like piano ballads or jazz ballads, so like Body and Soul. And if I bring it all the way in, it kind of brings back those mids, almost like a closer to a Herbie sound. You can hear more of the bell. This just has more mids. And then this is just a tremolo stereo between the two. So I have the depth all the way up. And then I like the speed kind of right there. If I take it out, it's just kind of stay without it. A little. And then that just kind of makes it move, it just gives it life. No, not on Keyscape. Now on Keyscape. This just has more character. One thing I would say is I made the bass notes on my Rhodes less in volume, because every time I play my Rhodes or use it for a recording, it is in a full band setting where there's bass and a kick drum. So I just didn't want to have it muddy up other instruments. Whereas Keyscape, it might sound better when I play like, it just sounds more full, but it's really just because the bass note is a lot more louder, even though I tried to turn down the bass on the parameter in Keyscape. But honestly, my keyboard here has native sounds inside of it. And all the gigs that I do, like 80%, kind of depends on the setup and the vibe. But I'll mostly just run Keyscape, just a USB cable into my computer. And it just helps me play better, to be honest, because it sounds closer to the real thing rather than some of like those 1 or 2-dimensional Rhodes. This can kind of get 3-dimensional. Let me kind of just rip on it, and then you can kind of hear the character of Keyscape. And again, the Keyscape one just kind of sounds fuller because of the bass. And that's just the way I have it tuned. I feel like the Rhodes, you can kind of lock in a Herbie sound where it's mid-range and kind of cuts through, but also still has glitter and sparkle on top rather than just being one-dimensional. I keep saying that word, but that's really how it is to feel. And if you ever played a real acoustic, whether it's a Rhodes, even though it is electric, there's real hammers inside of there hitting the thing, and a piano, you can kind of feel the vibrations. When you hit in a grand piano or an upright, you feel like the vibrations through the instrument, and it's hard to replicate that on a VST or just a keyboard. So I'll play one more thing, but let me know down in the comments if you'd like to see more of Keyscape. They have a bunch of different presets that I can go through with effects as well. I did both these Rhodes as just like bone dry, no reverb, just to get like a straight comparison. But yeah, let me know if you like to see more Keyscape videos that kind of go in more in depth and mess around with their other settings and just their other presets. So let me play us out.